What is up, bras? So the 6th Invitational is all wrapped up, and you can probably guess there was a ton of big brain tricks that were used since it was literally just all of the best Siege teams from around the world. And the games are starting at 11 p.m. Hawaii time, so I've been butchering my sleep schedule for the past week to dissect as many of these games as I possibly could, and it was all worth it because now I can present to you the best tricks from the 2021 6th Invitational.
Control firmly in their hand, and Raps has just TK'd Lucade with a breaching round. What?
Special thanks to all of the caffeine that I slammed this past week, and even more special thanks to Ubisoft for sponsoring this video. Even though the 6th Invitational is over, we can look forward to Stage 2 of the NAL starting on June 15th. If you want to stay up to date for all of the latest news on the league, then give at R6 Esports NA a follow on Twitter, and I'll have that linked down below. Another way we can support our favorite teams is by getting the league bundles and teams items directly in game. For every regional league set or teams item sold, 30% of that net revenue gets distributed amongst the respective organizations. Anyways, let's get right into the video and start this list off with some smart plays from earlier in the week.
Take from the west side, coming in through Spiral, try and take control of lobby, then you have some of the hatches you can play with. And
how is Sexy Cake inside of CEO already?
Don't question him.
We've seen 30 seconds of play. He has the diffuser and already...
Entry Thermite? Yes!
He's in first entry on the side of Liquid. Now, it's a horrible angle that cameraman has access to here underneath the castle barricade.
Kicking this list off, we have one of the biggest brain castle tricks that I've ever seen on Consulate. If you reinforce this door with a castle barricade from the east side facing west, then you'll actually have this wide angle that can go all the way back into console office, and even if the person's like crouching and going for a plant in the corner, you can still see their head. It's insane.
Opportunity for them, and also Jess, this is the first time we're seeing teams play internationally across regions in forever. Hello, is that Ace?
Hello? Oh my god, we love to see it. I have seen Ace Charges Selmas used in 100 different ways to get coyoted hatches, etc. But that one's to get it. It's a rush on the main stairs here.
This one is more of a did you know trick, and just like the casters, I also have never seen this done from below, so it's really smart. If you have the opportunity and you're in this situation, keep in mind that you can use Ace from below to get rid of electrified hatches, so really good to know.
Ping from Envy comes out, but Levy's the one who's able to leverage that one. And with 50 seconds left, I said last time, hold your horses. You can collect yourself stats.
This next one is a really solid off angle that you can use. I feel like it would be best used when site is dining room, and then maybe you have a roamer up top that's trying to stop the top clear. But even if this wall down here is reinforced, you can still get an angle that goes over it and kills anybody approaching dining. It also doubles as a pretty sick grenade spot when you're attacking up above.
Because, well, there is a couple of safe spaces on this site. Not many! Especially now if Astro picks up a great kill like that.
Ooh, just from behind the bomb chassis. Big drop and big loss of lems.
This next one is smart because we're going to be anticipating this angle to be opened up. We're going to be using the bomb as an anchor point, but know that if this line of sight gets opened up, there's a likely headshot right there.
You can hold on.
Well, there's the pressure, and I guess they tried to push on and see if they could get that kill with Shaiko before they burnt the utility, but, you know, it's a risk and it's not rewarded this time. Bullet was locked in and ready. 2 shields, generally at max, is how it gets played, and it forces very precise firefights, which Bullet and Cyber make sure their precision matches up.
Able to pick up yet another kill, and it leaves it all up to Ensure now.
This setup is cool because it's a different variation of what you typically see in the bathroom. Normally there's the standard shield on Pixel, which they also had, but then they had this new setup where you actually leave one of the west walls soft so that they can retreat to here and have a new angle on Cigar Shop when the Pixel shield gets destroyed. It's crazy strong, really hard to see, and unorthodox.
My mind and predicted what I wanted to look at here between the bakery and the site itself. It'll allow you to get a big bit and a hold of control, but you think, well, if this wall gets open and you have a sniper rifle that's as tall as you are, what you can hit, it's pretty clever. Can you get it? Try it again. Yes. Is what you can hit is towards coat room. You have red corridor, then
There's a bunch of HB and all these operators are stacked up on the bakery door. They need to push in at some point. 65 seconds left on that clock. Shaiko keeps on trying to challenge. His bullet takes down the first. Oh, there we get it. It's going to be a wall bang down onto Souls. That is the Kali now gone.
All right, so this next one, it seems like there's a lot more going on here than just the surface level. It's a badass electroclaw spot. Now, even if you don't intend on using this next section, the spot in itself is awesome and spot worthy. Now, because he picked up the north one and replaced it on the south, they could actually control which wall gets opened up, and then their defensive player in coat actually has these crazy angles into the entrance of bakery. Again, a lot goes on in the heads of these pro players, and they're much smarter than me. I'm not saying that this is what they had planned, but it is what happened, and it's really interesting.
Back out of this, it is a tooth and nail fight, ending yet again in a very scrappy, very bitter fight between two teams, dropped over the side of the shield in the middle of a hot space here on the kitchen. 20 seconds have gone, 20 seconds left, several pings on a Maverick looking for one thing, but he doesn't find it.
So placing a deployable cover here in kitchen service on the counter adds another layer of annoyance to the attackers. There are so many different lines of sights and pre-aim spots that they're gonna have to do. Worrying about if there's a dude crouched behind it or vaulting up in an off angle is just so much to think about. If you place it just right, you can even get angles that go through the reinforced wall into bakery.
Bringing along those C4s, of which there are 3. As Lagonis also playing on the kite, has one in the back pocket.
It's a little bit hard to tell from the Proli clip what was going on. Don't worry, we came in here, got it all dissected. It's the biggest brain electroclaw spot that I've ever seen on Chalet. The end of this table just happens to line up really well with the bottom 2 walls approaching from Big Garage. And if IQ's banned, there's probably a 0% chance that they find this.
Hit, by the way, and I know that people might roll their eyes at this, but in the heat of the moment, some floors they're laid horizontally, some...
All right, so if you go and get the Lagonis charm and you happen to get Consulate, then you're able to qualify to use this insane Valkyrie camera spot. You can chip away at the pallets a little bit and have a really good line of sight. It's not going to cover the entire garage, but for how well hidden it is, it's a really good trade-off. You can even see the toes of people doing a default plant behind white van.
The Year award because I do. Imposter kicks.
No, just another person named Kicks. No, but yeah, one of the, if we're talking about stats, by the way, so we're talking about individual performances. Again, Alamau is like one of the top players in this lobby.
Probably the best current way to protect a bulletproof camera is by placing an aruni gate over it. It's already a really good combination like this to keep it protected, but with the future potential buff coming to bulletproof cams where they can actually shoot out an EMP charge, this is going to be an insane combo.
And this time for SSG, not looking to play towards Cash and top red. That is going to be a position that team one can take. Canadian.
You get it. So close.
Oh, he might be able to. Lagonis got off of it, actually. Yeah, he got off.
Oh, he tricked it.
Up next, we have Canadian's really smart electroclaw spot, and whether you're solo queuing or playing with a team will probably dictate whether you're going to actively sit here and juggle it or not. But even if you're not going to juggle it, just using it as an electroclaw spot is really good, and Thatcher's banned like 90% plus of the time anyways, so it's going to be really difficult to deal with.
It's maybe not round over by any means, but it's sloppy and it's not the ideal start through the drone hole. Neskin does just cop a few bullets to his toes.
Now, this next one again is more of a did you know. A lot of pros have specific setups that they play around the bathroom, and a lot of times the defender will be here, but in ranked you're not really going to see players here that much. But do keep in mind that even though Ubisoft tried to block this drone hole, you can still get this specific line of sight.
Here, or they want to try and pull apart some of these shields, some of this hold, and Nesk potentially on the top of the stairs, but it's actually the first pair that bounce around the back.
Oh, kill!
What a perfect grenade.
It just rolls in just in the right place to make sure that PSK will drop, and that is going to be the entry.
First off, it is very fitting that FaZe Clan was the one that threw this nade for this video. It actually took me a couple tries to land, but basically you're going to aim it really high, bounce it off like you're playing pool, and it's going to take out the anchor that's playing at the top of the stairs. When you practice this, do keep in mind that drones have the same throw path as grenades, so you can try multiple times.
This is match and series point. TSM win here, and it's a repeat of the site, by the way. They win here. Oxygen are done within 48 hours. They will depart Paris, and TSM will be the ones stepping into the grand final on Sunday.
Probably no surprise to anyone, Laxing coming in here with the best electroclaw spot that I've ever seen for Arsenal Room. This thing barely touches the tip of the corner of the reinforced hatch, and it's completely underneath of the counter. It's really, really hard to see, and even when you're downstairs, the soft second layer destruction of the floor slash ceiling hides it really well. Even when you're upstairs, it's super awkward to find.
Also, it can give you a lot of different angles that you can defend the bomb site from below in many ways. That's actually the way that old Oregon used to play. Kitchen was everything back then. A pulse inside a kitchen, back in kid's bedroom with the double windows. Oh my word, Wallbang City.
PSK are going to get in now and look to try and open up the wall. So I think, is he going for something fancier, Dem? Is he going to try and remove the top bar of the reinforcement? All the wood has been taken on out of there, so...
Oh, I think I might know why. It's basically, it cuts out the entire reinforcement, the same way that you would do with like the Maverick trick. I think this was a Macy J technique.
Macy J, Big Brain, Pro League Big Brain, all in the same category, right? This trick has been floating around for a little bit now, but I figured I'd show you guys because they did it to the T. They did it so perfectly, and I wanted to show you guys basically as long as you have 3 pellets up on top by the red and some pellets down at the bottom, you actually can afford to have a pellet that's like not in line with the others if it's like stuck on a layer of wood or something like you see in this clip here, and it'll still work. But yeah, huge shout out to Macy J if he was the one that found it. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think anyone's going to be surprised if it was. So absolutely amazing hard breach trick with Hibana.
Sexy Cake has got an opportunity here to amaru in through one of the windows, and if these players are all in cameras, which, you know, it looks like they might be, it could be quite easy for him to gain a little bit of an advantage and a little bit of an element of surprise.
Oh, he's going
to happen, Demo.
Oh, and the thing is as well, with Liquid, is that Polu is using a concussion to nullify the sound of this going in. So whenever Cypher, who is going to be that Maestro right beside that window, he's not going to be able to hear it happen, and here it goes. The concussion goes in, set to get right for the window. And as you can see, Empire have no idea he's in this position. Dan has found one, so as always, Sexygate has to go big with that G8. He has no idea that the Maestro right beside him. He will find that kill as Polu is also squared it up into a 3 versus 3. Information being fed back, and there's the G8 ringing through Polu.
All right, so in that clip, we witnessed a really, really sick concept. I'm going to show you this off angle that you can also get a Zofia stun with. He was playing in Cigar when it happened, but basically I'm going to let this play out and let the sounds take care of the rest. You can see that I can absolutely not hear it at all.
A bomb located by Op 4. Mission failed. All friendly.
It's quite a clever move, really, Des. There's absolutely no reason not to. You know, you're not wasting time by leaving them closed. It's going to take achieved all of 2 seconds once he gets up there. That is what you do allow for. Foxer this time able to find that Nitro.
Fox's C4s are some of my favorite. It's so fitting that he landed this one too, because in the video where I asked pros to show me tricks, he showed a really, really sick C4 on Consulate with a similar concept where it's really early in the round. He throws this one at the 39-second mark, but I'm guessing he's playing off of a little bit of general timing that he knows about, plus sound, so it might differ by 1 or 2 seconds when you go for it.
9 and round 12. And we get no closer to knowing who's going to win this because it was 50-50. It was 50-50. TSM won the first round, round 9. Now,
can anyone save them in the 2 versus 4?
Dogger looking to aggress.
Oh no!
Into the white corridor, Des, but Vertical's going to get found out by one of those frost mats. How many times have we seen it in behind the cigar shop counter? And he falls foul of it, gets his leg trapped. 28 seconds left to go.
All right, the Bolo frost mat placement trick. Not something a lot of people are going to expect, huh? I'll quickly show you the 2 window frost mats that he also used, but the main focal point of this one is the one here behind the desk in Scar Shop. When you're pressed up against the counter facing east, you actually can't see it, and my theory as to why this works is because there's so many different lines of sight that you have to check. A lot of times people just back up into it.
And because of the pressure and because of the positioning, he wasn't able to actually get a frag back. He wasn't able to get it off as a trade.
Newsy, potential spawn peek perhaps, and that will look directly onto anyone moving up the stairs towards ruins, but Reduct, instead of going right, he went left, and that has more or less saved his life.
All right, so next up is the spawn peak onto a spot that's not necessarily a super high traffic area, but the plus side is you almost have a 0% chance of dying from this. When you go for it, the defender is nearly invisible even with the door broken open. So if you have a few extra seconds at the beginning of the round, you might as well go for it because there's almost a 0% chance of you dying. And if somebody does take this path, it's a headshot that's lined up for you perfectly.
You're going to be able to use to hold that top floor a little bit firmer. And of course the mechanical arm, the bionic punch for making those rotations.
All right, yeah, ignore that first punch hole. I didn't realize that these windows weren't directly above each other. But anyways, I think a really underused tactic is just punching the floor with aruni and using it for vertical lines of sight. This example right here is perfect because the edge of the windowsill really covers so much. It covers the entire hole and you can't even see the guy that's shooting you.
Sure whether Team Liquid are aware of his presence or not at the minute. PSK, he's going to be looking to continue that top floor roam clear on the Nomad just to try and make sure there's nobody present now.
I love this, by the way.
It's great,
look at this.
isn't it?
He's got the one upstairs already, and then he can trick from below. So now you should see him pull out the electroclaw, chuck one up. Beautiful. Love it. This should get these off the wall. Oh, you're going to lose all 12. Oh, the pain is 12 Esclaros fry at once.
And that, Des, is once again because Achieved has not been found underneath and dealt with.
They've got such big brains, Ace.
Next up, we have yet again another insane electroclaw that I've never seen before. Now, even if you don't have somebody sitting down here and actively juggling, by just placing an electroclaw here will probably go unnoticed in the majority of games. And like I said earlier in the video, Thatcher's going to be banned like, what is it, 90% plus of the time. They might think it's on the inside, but even if they throw a grenade over, there's no explosions that are going to go through the floor.
I know we've always talked about it, the late pushes, the late attempts on the plant is in the hands of Liquid, all par for the course. It gives you vibes of old Vitality, except Liquid makes their presence a little bit more known.
Now jumping back over to console, we got another big brain electroclaw. This one's going to be underneath of the stage and piano. And when you throw it like this, you can actually get it to land on top of the pipe versus if you just throw it from below, it is much, much harder to see.
They don't want to give up that advantage. PSK looks to move out. He does get aggressive onto the Ash of Muzi and will find a few shots, but take a few in return. He's going to dip back and hide behind his deployable shield, keep himself alive, and this is perfect for PSK.
Now, definitely lots of shield spots in this video, but it's like they say, the devil's in the details. I've never used a shield like this, but you can see how strong this can be. This shield is going to go from freezer all the way to cigar shop on common angles that people check.
This is perfect for PSK. Until they move him, NIP cannot really start thinking about aggressing onto the site. So with 30 seconds left, PSK is going to hold on to the alive.
Swings onto the windows like, I'm in danger, you know you're dead.
This next C4 might look complicated, but after this 15-second tutorial, you'll be able to land it 100% of the time, every single time. If you know somebody's on the rappel, you go down into laundry, put your face in the corner, look up, lean left, and then count 4 brown squares. You're then going to throw the C4 and you will land it on the windowsill 100% of the time.
That they need. 4-2 to Liquid, things looking much better. And suddenly that third red bar at the top of your screen that might fill in favor of NIP feels a little more distant.
Next up is this shield spot that you can use as a mini mirror, a vertical off angle, or just adding another 3 things that the attackers have to think about as they approach piano and sight. In a previous game, BDS also placed all 3 Jaeger ADSs on the window and an Aruni gate, so lots of different options. And this is guaranteed to slow attackers down if they come this direction. Anyways, that's going to wrap it up for this video. If you enjoyed it, then don't forget that you can look forward to Stage 2 of the NAL starting on June 15th. If you want to stay up to date for all of the latest news on the league, then give @R6 Esports NA a follow on Twitter, and I'll have that linked down below. Another way we can support our favorite teams is by getting the league bundles and teams items directly in game. For every regional league set or teams item sold, 30% of that net revenue gets distributed amongst the respective organizations. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. It's free and you can always change your mind if my next video isn't a banger. I'll see you all very soon. I love you all. Peace.